Here we go. I'm back with another review. Today, I'm going to talk about the movie Insidious, which is a scary movie. It's a horror movie. And of course, we're dipping into October. So that means we need to get ready for the Halloween season. So I will be doing more reviews of scary movies. And Insidious is one of those horror movies that I would consider to be actually quite good. Like most horror movies, they don't really work for me, mostly because I'm not that easily scared, especially when it's a lot of gore involved in the movies. I don't really like that. I like a movie that has a lot of suspense, that feels eerie, that feels creepy, that makes me feel uneasy when I'm watching the movie. And not just because there's a lot of violence and a lot of gore stuff on the screen. That's not really why I like horror movies. And this movie does exactly what I would like to see from a modern horror movie. So we have the makers of the Saw movie and the movie Paranormal Activity behind this one. They made this movie as well. And I was intrigued to see how this movie would play out. I mean, it's a haunted house type of movie, and Insidious does it pretty well. So the movie is from 2010, and Insidious, the movie in the movie Insidious, we follow the Lambert family, and they move into a new home, and they eventually become plagued by this sinister supernatural force. And especially when their son falls into a mysterious coma, they discover that there is something even more dark and creepy than just some simple haunting of this house. And what we get is some jump scares, we get some paranormal stuff, we get some creepy demons, even though, well, not all the demons are very creepy. We get this Darth Maul type of demon as well, which is either it's hilarious or it's creepy. I would say it's somewhere in between. And these demons, they blur the line between reality and the spirit world. So, what did I like about this movie? Well, the shock factor and the atmosphere. This movie actually is quite scary for a horror movie. I mean, the sound design is quite good, the sudden jump scares, very well done, and the use of silence in this movie is done quite well. And that's how you play the audience, that's how you play me. And yeah, it's really effective, and sometimes it even feels manipulative, but that's why we watch horror movies. That's why we like them, right? So shock factor, atmosphere does it very well. What I like is when a horror movie, like I said, it keeps that creepy tone and it doesn't just let go of it. This movie does that quite well. So the concept, I like it. It's a haunted house that always works for me, and it revolves around ghosts, possessions, and this movie has a little bit of a twist on it because they do something with an astral projection and something they call the further, which is this creepy shadowy world where these evil demons, these evil ghosts hang around basically, which give this movie its own identity, I would say. So yeah, that works as well for me. The pacing is quite good, um, and the camera, you notice this in the movie, is the camera just lingers long enough to make you feel uneasy at certain moments. So that works very well. And like I said, the demon design, we do get this Darth Maul looking demon, and it might be a little bit silly, but for some people, it might be a creepy thing. For me, it worked quite well. It is creepy, it is unsettling. So, well, for me, it is not necessarily an unforgettable demon. I would say it is somewhere in between. I remember him, but that's about it, really. The final twist, very well done. It gives this movie a good ending where we can see possible sequels, right? So the door is wide open to make a lot of sequels from this movie, Insidious. So the final twist, very well done. Now, obviously, this movie isn't perfect. There are some things that I really didn't like about this movie. The problem I have is with the tone. The film really undercuts itself with comic relief. And I mean, I like some jokes in the movie, which, eases up the tension a little bit. But in this movie, we get these two goofy idiots, these investigators, paranormal investigators, and for me, they feel, and I would say probably for more people who watch this movie, they feel like they just came straight out of Ghostbusters. Their presence, it breaks the movie. It takes you out of the movie instead of just pulling you more into the movie. So yeah, the comic relief, it didn't really work for me. And then we get some really ridiculous moments. But then again, it's a horror movie, it's a scary movie. So what do you expect? In this movie, we get gas masks, we get this crazy Darth Maul looking demon. So that doesn't really work. It's a little bit bizarre. And yeah, it sometimes turns a little bit into comedy instead of it being scary. Pacing issues. The movie drags a little bit in certain sections, especially when we get to the second half of the movie. It feels more slow. We have some initial scares, and we feel like the momentum just dips. But then again, it also picks up again, so that's good, right? So pacing issues just a little bit, and yeah, the over the top finale. So the final act is a little bit over the top. It feels a little bit cartoonish to me, and it takes away from the groundedness of a haunted house. So yeah, that's what I like when I watch a horror movie, is that it feels like it could actually happen, right? That it feels a little bit real, or the potential of being real. And as soon as you start doing some crazy shit, then it just takes me out of the movie. And unfortunately, Insidious does that in the end part of the movie. It takes me out of the movie. And in terms of characters, well, we're watching horror movies, so what do you expect from the characters? There's not much depth. They do what they're supposed to do. They just serve the story. So there, I would say, well, there's not much depth, but then again, it's a horror movie, so not much to expect from that in that regard. So yeah, overall, Insidious, I would say it's better than your average horror movie. It's better than your average haunted house type of movie. It is actually really tense. It is creepy. It feels eerie, and it knows how to deliver some good scares. And yes, they do feel cheap, and some of them are ridiculous. But then again, it works quite well. So for this movie, I would give it a 6 out of 10. It is flawed, it is a little bit silly. It's definitely not the best of the best, but I don't think there is a scary movie or a horror movie that gets a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. But a 6 out of 10 for a horror movie, I would say is pretty good. It's better than most scary movies. So, yeah. But that's just my take. Once again, what do I know about movies? Let me know what you think of this movie, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.